In today's video, I will be breaking down a trade I took on January 12th, which was last Friday, and I will mainly focus on how I use my strategy to manage my risk. In the clip I'm showing at the moment, you can see how I trail my stop loss to certain points during the trade, and I will later explain how I know when to trail my stop loss and when to take off contracts to capture points and not lose anything during the trade. And in this certain trade, I went in with 3 MNQ contracts. I put one contract at 10 points. It took me out at 10 points. I put another contract at 5 points. And as you just saw, I trailed one of my last contract to break even. So in this video, it does take me out at 5 points, and it does come back down and take me out at break even, which in total I did profit 15 points, as I took one out at 10 points and I took one out at 5 points. And like I said earlier, after this clip I'm showing at the moment, I will go into a breakdown of what led me to get into the trade and what led me to manage my risk, as this video will be mainly focusing on risk management. And let me speed up the clip. Takes me out at 5 points, as you can see, and then it comes back down and takes me out at break even. And that's basically the trade I took on Friday, and it was the only trade I took. And it's a small gain because I'm on MNQ, I'm not on the regular NQ. Regular NQ contract is 10 times MNQ, so if I was doing 3 NQ contracts, I would have made $280 instead of $28, but I'm mainly focusing on risk. Here we are in the breakdown of the chart, and let's get into it. So this chart is the 1 minute chart, this chart is the 2 minute chart, and this chart is the 5 minute chart. Now I entered my trade on the 1 minute chart, and I entered it at 16,981, which is at this level right there. That's where I entered it. And on the 2 minute chart, that's right over here. And then on the 5 minute chart, that's about right here. And the reason why I entered the trade on the 1 minute is because the 1 minute had a stronger move up, in my opinion, compared to the other charts. So when I entered my trade here, I put my stop loss at 16,964, which is 17 points stop loss. And as you can see in the video, we took 15 points, which is not ideal, but here's where I get into my risk management. In the clip I showed previously, I moved my stop loss from the 17-point stop loss all the way up to a 5-point stop loss, because I knew that with a move this big and with the retest back into this moving average, it's going to shoot up and it should not come back down. And it did exactly what it was going to do. It shot up, I trailed, and it came back into my break-even area, but I lowered my risk to break even instead of having it at 16,964 due to the signals I got from reading the 1 minute chart. I would have not gotten the same signals on the 2 minute or the 5 minute. I would have got mixed signals on those. That's why I didn't use the 5 minute and the 2 minute. I only used the 1 minute to enter this trade. And as you saw in the video, I took my 15 points during the trade. I put one stop loss at 16,991, which was at this level. One contract I put there, and it took me out, so I put one contract on break even, and I moved up the contract from the 17-point stop loss all the way to 5 points, which is right here, one contract. So that's how I managed my risk. I knew it wasn't going to go below after I had a strong rejection in the moving average, so I moved my stop loss up. If the trade did come back on me, I would have had a stop loss of 10 points instead of 20, but Fortunately, it did not come back on me, and I managed to gain 15 points. And that's basically how I manage my risk. If I see a good rejection of the moving average and the indicators on all of the 3 charts are telling me to stick into the trade, I will move my stop loss from wherever it was previously until it's basically like 5 points or break even. And I did do that after I saw the signals. So I moved my contracts up. I took one out at 10 points, which guaranteed me a 10-point trade. And I put one at break even, and I put one at 10 points. And then I realized that it's bouncing around this range right here. So then I put my second contract at a 5-point gain, came back, hit me out, and I left my other one at break even. So I got a 15-point trade instead of losing 17 points, which it would have never even come back down for like another 10-20 minutes. And that's basically how I manage my risk. I use my indicators to help me trail my stop losses. I use my charts to help me see where to put my stop losses and how to truly manage my risk. And I will have a more in-depth video in the coming weeks of how I truly manage my risk, but this is an example of how I did it during a live trade. And I will see you guys on the next one.